Hey guys, welcome to Pheas Software. Today I'm going to do an unboxing on the CYMA CM.106 PDW MP5. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do like, comment and subscribe. It helps me get seen by the YouTube algorithm, helps the channel grow. Linktree link down below will take you to all my socials, including my Discord. Stop by and say hello. Join button down below will also take you to YouTube channel memberships. 99 pence a month, totally optional. Really appreciated. Custom videos, boring. Moving on. So I have got this. This has been quite heavily requested by quite a few people. So this is the CYMA Platinum 106. So this is the sort of PDW MP5, and this is like the tripped out super crazy version of it. So we'll get started because I'm pretty excited. So we've got a relatively standard CYMA Platinum box. We've got a little image of it there on the end and the fact that it's a CM106, and that is pretty much it. So we're going to spin that round and we're going to get into this. So get that tape off there, just some plain foam, and boom, check that bad boy out. That is a really pretty piece of kit right there. Ooh. So before I get too excited, there is a battery extension tube there, which we'll put to one side. There is a straight or straightish MP5 mag, because it's obviously slightly angled at the top. There is the probably my favorite type of MP5 mid cap, is the one with the fake rounds showing. Another second mid cap in there. Bag of BBs I'm never going to touch again. The MP5, I'm not seeing, there is a hex key or Allen key in there. I am not seeing, oh there it is, an unjamming rod, and the bag of silica gel. You can never have too many bags of silica gel. So I'll get that out of the way. And there she is. That is one hell of a piece of kit, and there's a BB inside it as well. Awesome. Now, first thing you'll notice is it's quite heavily M4 looking, AR looking. And that is a deliberateness that effectively, that's what this is. It is just an AR, a very short AR, where they've modified the magwell to basically accept and take MP5 mags, and that goes up in there. Now, I'm not going to lie, that is pretty. Those type of mags, I think those look better than those. That's not my cup of tea. Great for you if that is your thing. That is not for me. This right here, this is where it's at right there. I absolutely love that. I think it looks fantastic. So before I get overly excited, let's get on with the sort of visuals. Now, first of all, there is a good couple of kilograms of their weight there, and it is mostly centered around this sort of central body here. There is a lot of heft to it. That's probably the heaviest MP5 I've ever held. It's that kind of heavy weighting. So there's obviously some good build quality in there. So starting at the front then, we've got our sort of muzzle device there then, that is pretty damn cool. It's not quite as straight, it's open and hollow in there. You can see sort of down into the barrel down there. We've then got an M-lock front end, which includes this grip here. Now, I don't know if that end cap comes off, possibly does. It does seem to be wiggling, but it is screwed in, so you'd undo those screws. And I will link to my M-lock attachment video down below. That's oddly the most popular video on my channel by some considerable margin. So you've got a bit of M-lock accessory space there. We've got a flip up sight, which is literally just flip it up, and they are more than adequate for most sort of iron sight needs. Remove the flat head screw in each of those, and those will come off if you want to sort of replace them. We've then got quite a long extended top rail as well, like you would get on an AR for mounting needs as you see fit. Then we're coming back into this really quite nice angled, almost sort of H&K style body. Lots of nice angled cuts. It's effectively like a mini M4, isn't it? Funny that, isn't it? So we've got our bolt release on the side there, which does lock open our ejection port, our mock ejection port, and when I click it, it will release it and allow it to close. I'm liking sort of the deflection plate, so the ejected shells would bounce off this and ping away. I'm not sure if this is the correct sizing, and not sure if I like that that's just literally straight cut down. express your opinions. It does look like it is a traditional M4, the old TM style, because we've got like the 3 cogs there to adjust it. So we've got a hop wheel there. It is roll forward to apply hop, roll backwards to take hop off. So clockwise adds hop, anti-clockwise takes hop off. But it's nice that it locks open so that I can access that hop without any issues. The mag release then is, again, AR type mag release. That clicks in there and it releases. Now, what that is, I don't know how well you can see that is quite a unique system there, that although it looks like an M4 mag release, we know that that cutoff is different, so that only sits there. This button comes down the inside of the mag well, and I don't know how well my camera's getting that, but there's basically a catch sits just here, is just catching that mag and holding it in place. When I'm releasing it, it's just letting it come out. The mag itself connects to what looks like a tube here that then feeds it up into the hop unit. I'm not sure how I feel about that, and you know, the disassembly will be out next week, and it'll be linked down below when it's there. I'm not sure about, I like that, but you know, we'll see how it goes. We've got quite a traditional sort of charging handle setup. We've then got ambidextrous selectors for our firing modes. Now, what that doesn't do is in an M4, where it would go halfway for semi and then go on. Come on, Pheas, get your words in the order. It would go to that position for semi and then further round for auto. This is just 3 quite close together modes. So you've got safe, semi, full automatic there. The pistol grip is slightly sort of straighter angle, and it is incredibly comfortable. It enhances sort of size around here, obviously to accommodate the motor. That is silly comfortable, and nice texturing will mean it's nice to sort of hold, and will retain better in both your bare hands and gloved hands. The trigger's quite enhanced, you know, a sort of slightly different, not quite a straight trigger, but a little bit different. It's cool, it's fun. And then moving on to the stock, then we've got an adjustable stock that will come out to, let's have a look what we're looking at here. So 1 position, I'm guessing 2, 3, 4, like 5 positions, and then fully in as well. So you've got a lot of adjustability, because often these types of stocks don't offer you an awful lot of adjustment. It's usually like sort of 2 settings and collapse, and that's it. So the fact that there is so much in there is quite nice. Now that last setting there, I can't get to that last setting. I can see the notch. I've got to pinch that in to get to that last setting. All the other settings were just that one handle, and then it locks into place. So it locks there, so to push that in to get it to lock. When I click that, you can see it springs, and it springs off. There's a springy button in there which is on the back of the battery cap. So press that again, I'll get that out of the way, put that out. So oh no, I didn't need to do it then, it actually went there. Now that for me, maybe in a position, that for me, I'm built for comfort, not for speed. I'm a bit bigger guy. I like feeling like I'm compact and together, and that for me, sort of not quite fully extended, maybe even in another position once I've got my gear on, that feels, oh, that's even better. That feels perfect, just getting it really shouldered, really close to me. It's comfortable, and the weight being mostly there, by the time I've got both my hands on, you know, I'm splitting the weight. It feels really, really nice and really comfortable to get in there. Those mounts going in, nice and easy, flip it out, and out it comes. So I'm really quite happy with that. In terms of battery space then, we just unscrew this cap on the back, and there we are wired to Dean's. Now it is a MOSFET version, which I will double check. I don't think it's programmable. I'm pretty sure it's not programmable, but I will double check and confirm in the second half of the video if it is programmable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and do the shooting tests, and then we'll come back and see how we've got on. Minimum 302, maximum 322, sort of 20 FPS range. I would expect that would settle, but you know, a little bit disappointed it's not a bit tighter. Damn, that's pretty good enough. 7.5, like 14.5 rounds a second. Wow. $27.5 rounds a second. Wow, that's amazing. Ooh, wow. Slight overhop. Easy over 50 meters. Damn, quite inconsistent at the end there. Okay, so I'm back from the shooting test then. So in terms of range, well over 50 meters, as we come to expect from CYMA, they produce some outstanding stuff, and performance levels lets us down. I did overhop it slightly. Even at that, it was going, so it's easily over 50 meters range. I was really happy with that. The FPS, I'm pretty sure it's a dual sector, short stroke. I think it might be a short stroked set, actually, not dual sector gear. In terms of the FPS, I was a little bit sort of inconsistent, like a 20 FPS variance, which was a little bit disappointing. That will settle, but just to be aware that with the stock spring, that is a bit variable. Now, this has been, I'm assuming, downgraded for the UK market. This will run higher FPSs in other countries, so check with the retailer first to see what it's putting out. In terms of rate of fire, 15 rounds a second or 7.4 is pretty damn good, actually. I'm pretty impressed with that, particularly when a lot of the China stuff comes out at sort of like 12, 13 rounds. That 15 is really good. 11.1, as always, it really just came alive and just sort of like took off. Sort of 27.5 rounds a second was just phenomenal. And it's almost scary when it sets on, you're like, woo. Just as a side note, between filming the first part and the second part of this unboxing then, these two types of mags are the only mags that are compatible, known to be compatible with it, SMG5 mags, which are listed on various retailers. If you use other brands and types of MP5 mags, they are not likely to fit and feed because of sort of the shallow mag well and things like that. So they give you one of each, so you've got an example. So it's basically CYMA's own, either these straight mags or these curved mags with the fake rounds, specifically meant for SMG5 types. Which is a bit of a downer that there's not a little bit more compatibility. If you have got one and you haven't run other things in it, I'm just basing that. I haven't got any other MP5 mags available to me at the minute. So, let me know if you found other stuff does fit and feed. I'm just telling you what I've seen online. I can't confirm that myself. The other thing I wasn't overly enamored by was the compact battery space. Although, it's not bad. It's made better with the extension tube on. That means I'm now having to run it a little bit longer than, I'm having to run the stock a little bit sort of further back than what I wanted, but it's pretty easy. We'll talk more about this sort of thing in a second. But basically, in fact, you know what? We'll just do it now. Why wait? So this extension bar goes on, we feed the wiring in, and we screw this in. The wiring's getting in, there we go. Now this is positive thread, so it's not a negative thread like you would get at the front. It is a positive thread. So that's just screwed on there. I've now got a significantly larger battery cap. Then I put the actual end cap on as well. Just coil that in there. That screws on. I can bring the stock obviously back in a position, but it does mean now that I am running that when I finished. There we go. I'm having to run that. That's the sort of, unless I run it buttered up to that, that's the minimum stock length. Now that's a little bit, still all right. It's probably comparable. Actually, it's probably comparable to an M4 stock fully collapsed, which is pretty much what I like. So it's not horrific actually. But it is nice that that's an included accessory, that they're not just throwing you to the wolf sort of thing and like, well, it is what it is, isn't it? Actually, the fact that that's in there as an added extra is pretty damn cool, really. I'm excited to do a disassembly to find out what makes this thing tick. It doesn't look like the MOSFET is programmable either. If you found evidence to the contrary, please do comment down below. I do like the aesthetic. I think it looks lovely. I think it looks really nice. What's put me off a little bit at the minute, firstly, is the hop, that it's like a weird feed tube up to the hop unit. I'm not sure I like that. And then the fact that at the minute it would appear that only CYMA's own 2 mags with it, which I shouldn't really be that fussed. You know, I've run stuff before with proprietary mags, and that doesn't normally bother me. Just when it comes out and it's MP5 and you think, oh, it's an MP5, why does it not take everybody's MP5 mags? But, you know, I digress. It's something to be aware of, that you are likely to need to buy either of those 2 types of mags, and they are CYMA's own. So I'll grab the gloves, we'll do the gloved operation. I do need to talk a little bit about the mid caps as well. In fact, I'm going to grab my batteries as well. So I've got a few sort of different batteries there. So we'll do gloved operation first. Yeah, let's do that first. So in terms of gloved operation then, I expect this is going to be pretty damn easy to use. Thanks again to the guys on my Discord for doing this. So it is mostly metal construction. Again, that mag goes in nice and easy. I can remove that. Same with that one. I can easily click that and adjust my stock in and out without any issues. I can operate the charging handle and the bolt release without any issues. Now I can definitely adjust the hop, but the same old problem. There's no tactile feel to it. Those cogs are a little bit loose. I'm not sure if that will unwind itself over time as well. So just something to be aware of. The mag release, the safety catch, fire selector, that deal. It's not even like it's late. It's only like late afternoon on a weekend. I do like that that's a short stroke, that it's not a very long distance to change that setting. And that feels nice, that it's just a short sort of distance. I'm not sure what kind of issue that might cause with if you want to change the MOSFET out because of failure or whatever. If that's like a different setting, it might be that that movement is overcompensating something else that is a more traditional movement space. We'll check on that in the disassembly video. But I can absolutely operate that. In terms of changing the battery, I've got the stock fully extended. In theory, I'm going to say I should be able to, but it will depend on the size of the batteries that you're getting. So I can definitely get that off there. Nearly. Now, I can make this easier by just pinching this together, and I can remove the stock, and that definitely makes it easier. He says, famous last words. The length of your battery is going to determine how easy it is to get in there and change that battery over. So just keep that in mind. That I can do it, but it's been a bit fiddly. It's probably not going to be one thing that you do middle of a game. You're probably going to need to come back to the safe zone to sort of change that up. So largely I'm quite happy with that. I did say I'd comment on the mags as well, and then we'll do batteries just before we finish. So these are mid caps. So you can, if you want, laboriously sit and feed a single BB at a time into these, or you need something such as this, what's called a speed loader. So we just pour BBs into there, and then we put this in the top, and we just click the BBs down into the mag to fill them up. So they're typically about 120 to 130 rounds or thereabouts. But you're going to need one of those unless you want lots of pain of feeding a BB at a time into those. And you can get bigger ones of these in different shapes and sizes and capacities and things like that. So you will need a speed loader. They're not high caps that come with this. And based on this, if you're going to be a high cap user, you're probably not buying this just yet anyway. You're probably going to be buying this when you are a mid-cap connoisseur as such. So we'll do the batteries then just before the end. So I've got the first one then is a Giant Power 7.4 thousand milliamp. Now this is obviously with the extension on. Now the extension, and I can get the battery connector to come out, there we go. The extension is almost the full length of the battery. So it only comes in sort of down here, the battery kind of space stops. Now that does go in quite easily. There is quite a long wire on this Giant Power. but I have got space there that I could fit and feed that into there without any issues, so I can take that off. Next, I've got a 1450 Nuprol type 7.4. Again, let's see if that fits. That's just fit in, and I should be able to get the wiring down and in there quite happily and easily. In fact, I've got two of those out for some reason. I've got a Bigfoot 11.1 850 milliamps. That fits even easier, and there is plenty of space in there. Again, with these battery capacities, you're going to need a couple of these to last the whole day. I've got a 1200 milliamp 11.1. That is never going to fit. It just sticks, you know, you've got a good couple of inches of battery stuck out the top and all the cable as well. And then, let's see. Last but not least, I've got an 1100 milliamp 11.1 by Nuprol. That again, it fits in. I've got enough room that a little bit of jiggling about and I can get that wiring in there. So you are going to have to run quite short, stubby little batteries in that. You're going to not be able to run anything without this extension on, realistically. You just, if I remove that, you're just not going to get, none of these batteries are fitting in that space at all whatsoever. So just keep that in mind. If you're buying it, and that stock is going to have to accept the extension on there. Now, performance wise, I'm really happy with it. I think it's fantastic. I think it looks amazing. A little bit concerned about the hot tube thing, and I'm querying how that selector works in terms of, I'm hoping it just sort of, there's some sort of an ANS cog in here that basically just moves it in a more normal M4 type movement where you've got that sort of full 180 degree range of motion. But I'm not sure until we do the disassembly video. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will leave the usual pictures at the end. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.